If you haven't seen part 1, make sure to go watch that video before you watch this one. We actually go over all the individual parts that make up the burner assembly, the gas control valve, the pilot assembly, everything. So you need to watch that one first. And I actually have it linked where you can click on it right up here. Hey everyone, welcome back to Serving Up Plumbing. I'm David Butler, and today it's part 2 for tank type gas water heaters. We're going to be actually at the water heater today, working on it, watching how everything fires up, how to light it, all of those great things. But before we do that, please make sure and hit that subscribe button, give it a thumbs up if you like this video, and let me know what you want to see in the future. Now, let's walk over to the water heater. Here we are at our 50-gallon natural gas water heater. One of the first things we need to do is remove the cover right here. Set that to the side. Now, if you'll notice, what we talked about in part 1, here's your control wires for your thermopile. Here's your igniter wire, single wire coming out. That's what makes the spark, right here. Here's your burner tube. The larger one goes the gas to your burner. And here's your pilot light tube, which goes down to your pilot light. Now, as you can see, here's also your flame sensor we talked about with the high limit switch push button right here. This is going to be screwed in and sealed to the front of the water heater. We're not going to be taking that out. So, lighting the water heater. You turn this knob right here from off to pilot, and again, you can depress it. So, while you're holding it in, you want to push this button in as quickly as you can, several times. Faster the better. And we'll see if the pilot lights. Now, you can get down here and stand on your head and look through the glass. Otherwise, you can sit, and I think I heard the pilot light a second ago, and this light will start flashing. Perfect timing, right? So, when that light's flashing, that means our water heater is working properly. That means also that we're getting millivolts going through our thermopile that we talked about. It's a single flash every few seconds, and that means everything's operating properly. Now we slowly let up on the pilot button, and then we're going to turn it back to where we talked about between A and B, or to B. You're going to hear the unit fire up, and everything's burning just fine. Now, one thing you need to do after we do this is make sure and leak test all of this for gas leaks. Now, most homeowners aren't going to have this device. This is something that you really need to have. This is a gas leak detector for combustible gases. We're going to turn it on, and all plumbers should do this every time they do an install on a new water heater, an old one, or anything. You let it set and run for a few seconds, and it'll start ticking like this. Kind of sounds like a Geiger counter. But it's going to slow down eventually. And that means it's finally getting warmed up and calibrated. You can always test this by actually blowing on it with your mouth. If it speeds up, it's detecting gas. Now, we want to take this and put the sniffer all around these areas right here, all up and down these pipes, all around our gas control valve and any pipes connected to it, and all of the pipes that are connecting onto it, to make sure that we didn't forget to tighten anything or that the factory doesn't have a leak on its system. Again, this is a combustible gas sniffer. It's something you definitely want to use. If it ever does hit a gas leak, you're going to hear it speed up faster and faster. And that means it's sniffing gas, and we need to find out what that gas leak is. That should be done on every water heater after it's installed, or any water heater that we work on. So, we know the water heater's working. Let's turn it back to pilot right now. Let's say that maybe the water heater didn't stay lit when you let the button go. Or maybe it did stay lit, but the pilot light's been going out on this water heater. There's where our electric meter comes in. This is the only thing that we're going to use on this water heater for testing electricity, and it's for testing millivolts. Now, not all electric meters will work for this. You need to make sure you get an electric meter that will test and read up to at least 1,000 millivolts. A lot of the electric meters will only read up to 250, which this Thermopile on this puts out 350 and has to, and more. Therefore, most of your smaller Kleins and those types, they're great meters for doing electric water heaters, but when it comes to testing the Thermopile, you have to have one that'll test millivolts up to at least 700 millivolts. This happens to be a UEI meter. They're great meters, and they're reasonable. This one's about $85 to $100. Fluke and several other the great meter companies, Klein and all of them, make some, but most of those meters that do what we need for a water heater cost in the $300 to $400 range. That's why UEI is a great one. It's actually made for testing water heaters. We've got this set. We want to make sure it's set to millivolts. Now, as you notice this little trap door we've got open here, we can actually get to the backs of these wires. If you can see the screen right there, we're going to put the probes in here and touch the two wires, the red and the white. We should be reading over 350. Look at there, we're reading 463, 64. This is an excellent Thermopile. It's working just perfect. Now, if we were reading 350 right now, I'd be a little concerned and I'd be watching it. If it starts dropping to below 350, even if it's a little bit, we know that our Thermopile is probably failing and we need to replace it. And that's how you test a Thermopile. Now, if your pilot light won't stay lit, you're going to have to kind of be a contortionist here. You're going to have to hold this up, or you can clamp it down somewhere. And you're going to have to hold this button in to override it manually to keep it burning while you're checking it. This will test to see if the Thermopile is failing, or it could be your gas control valve that's not working correctly. All right, if you know your Thermopile is working right and your water heater still won't stay lit, this hasn't been tripped, everything else, the pilot light stays lit, then it's time to replace the gas control valve. And that's pretty much all the things you need to do to troubleshoot this. Now, as we spoke about earlier, in the event the pilot light won't light at all, first of all, check your gas. Make sure you've got gas coming to your water heater. You can go turn on your cooktop or something else. Every now and then somebody will forget to pay their gas bill. I've done it myself. And suddenly you're surprised that you don't have gas. But if we do have gas at the unit and no gas will go through the pilot light, it won't light at all, it has to either be your igniter or your pilot assembly. You can disconnect this pipe right here, blow through it, see if it's clear. Also, you can push the button in while you have this disconnected. If gas comes out, then you know you're getting gas supply through to your pilot light. And if it still won't light, we need to go inside, pull the burner assembly out, and disassemble the pilot like we talked to in part 1. All right, that's all you need to do to test and troubleshoot a gas water heater. And you want to make sure and have that device to test the Thermopile. Otherwise, as a plumbing company, you can make 2 or 3 trips out there to get a water heater fixed right, and nobody likes that. That's it. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it's been educational. I hope it makes it much easier for you plumbers out there to repair water heaters and you do-it-yourselfers to fix your own. Please make sure and hit that subscribe button, give it a thumbs up, and let me know what you'd like to see in the future. Have a great day, and just tell your friends the Butler did it. Test to see if the Thermopile's failing.